couple of minutes, the ITN News Headlines, and then in-depth news stories from America in 60 minutes.
In Festiniog, this wise man with his dog have stopped fretting about their investments. Easy when you know how. And because her lump sum's so secure, this young Brum's freed her mind to solve other predicaments. Outstanding IQ. This fishmonger from Skye is obviously fly. He won't get caught out on his savings. Oh, no. While in Coventry, this man's guarantee will bring him returns quite substantial. All over Britain, smart savers are at ease thanks to National Savings Capital Bonds. They start at just £100. And if you keep them for 5 years, you get 12% per annum gross. Fixed, safe, guarantee. Where else do you get such peace of mind? National Savings Capital Bonds. The smart way for long-term savers.
We've got some smart people around here.
You shouldn't have buried me. I'm not dead.
Freddy's back in his biggest and best ever feature film, Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Plus Howling 4, 2 monster films on video.
It's ridiculous. Every time she comes in, it's the same. Could you put a little more pepperoni on just for me?
Okay, so she got some extra pepperoni. 1.
Yeah, then she told her friends, could I have extra mushroom and more onion? And then her parents.
Bit more ham, then. Just for us.
Okay, so everyone likes lots of toppings on their pan pizzas. What's the problem?
I'll tell you the problem. Gonna need a bigger truck.
If you like extra toppings, you've got it made.
Party lines, party lines, your new friends are just a phone call away.
On 0898 44844.
Then dial 1 and 2 for London. Party lines, 3 for the Southwest. 4 for Wales. 5 for the Midlands. Party lines, 6 for the Northwest. 7 for Yorkshire. 8 for the Northeast. And 9 for Scotland. Party lines, party lines, your new friends are just a phone call away.
Oh, Kevin, I do like it in our medallion award home.
Me too, Tracy.
So warm, so cosy. There's just one thing.
What's that, Petal?
These red lines. They do sort of get under your feet.
That's total heating, Tracy. It shows we're making the most of less than half-price electricity.
Which I assume, Kevin, is why in many cases electricity is so economical to run.
Got it in one, Trace.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Oh, I suppose you get used to them.
Ooh.
Not central heating, total heating.
Into the 90s brings new drama to ITV, the hectic world of making news.
Freeze! Everybody, bloody freeze!
She's a very good journalist.
Well, so is James Donnelly and Frank Davis. What's wrong with them?
They're not as pretty.
A contrast with El Cid amongst the criminals on the Costa del Sol.
What do you want, then?
Got a bit of business in Lombard Street.
You never cease to amaze me, Douglas.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Well, I suppose she's still got a few miles left on the clock.
When the chips are down, you need help from the Chancer.
It's time to take the weapons from the wall.
Some you win, some you lose. But I've never seen you lose.
We're talking about last resorts here, really, aren't we?
And watch out crime, Inspector Morse is back.
No name. Were the others anonymous?
It's the intellectual muggers you have to watch for around here, Morse. They're the ones who wouldn't have wanted him to speak.
John Thaw is Inspector Morse, a new series starting Wednesday at 8 on ITV.
If you're a fan of Queen, I must admit I am, then we have a cornucopia of their talent this week. First of all, tomorrow at 2, it's a look at their lives and careers in Queen, the Magic Years. And then on Thursday, a look back to their 1986 Eastern Tour when they were live in Budapest. So stand by for that Thursday at 2:20 That's look forward to later in the week. In a few minutes, 60 minutes. But first, over to ITN for the very latest news headlines.
British experts helping to deal with the oil spill off the Moroccan coast are dismissing talk of an ecological catastrophe like the Exxon Valdez incident in Alaska. They say the environment's different, the spill was further out to sea, and the oil's not particularly heavy. The Iranian tanker Karg 5 was hurled in a series of explosions north of Casablanca. Oil appeared to threaten a huge stretch of the Moroccan coast with its fishing and tourism. Up to 70,000 tons of crude were spilled. Joe Nichols of the International Tanker Owners Pollution Federation says it was a significant spillage. Most of the oil would have dispersed. What was left was now tending to drift southwards and offshore. The Americans have started pulling troops back out of Panama. 2 artillery battalions totaling 141 men have left for their base in the United States. 13,000 men joined 12,000 already stationed in Panama to drive General Manuel Noriega from power nearly a fortnight ago. 23 Americans were killed and over 200 wounded in the invasion. On Christmas Eve, Noriega sought asylum in the Vatican Embassy in Panama City. He's still there. In Australia, a hearing into whether a receiver should be put in at Alan Bond's Castlemaine Forex brewing business, a vital part of his business empire, opened in the Victoria Supreme Court, but has been adjourned. The Australian dollar's down more than 2 cents against the American dollar because of concern about whether the Bond Corporation will survive. Mrs. Thatcher and President Bush both broadcast to the Soviet people at the beginning of the new decade. The American leader called President Gorbachev a good partner in peace. Mrs. Thatcher said he should take the credit for the historic changes taking place in Eastern Europe.
The Prime Minister's unprecedented message sets the scene for her return trip to Moscow in June, where she hopes to repeat the success of her last major visit in 1987. Mrs. Thatcher paid tribute to President Gorbachev and his influence on the changes in Eastern Europe.
President Gorbachev deserves special credit for the historic changes which have swept across Europe. He understands people's aspirations and had the courage and vision to take the difficult decisions which helped them to become reality.
ITN Morning News is at 5:02.
Are you interested who won this year's TV Times Top 10 Awards? Yes! Would you like to find out?